So you're thinking about a move to the Knoxville area, right? But maybe the city itself isn't quite the vibe you're going for. Well, you've probably heard the name Maryville pop up. It's a super popular alternative, but the real question is it right for you? That's what we're going to dive into today. We'll break down all the pros and cons, no fluff, to help you figure it out. Let's start with a simple question. Are you searching for that sweet spot? You know, the place that has that cozy small town charm, but is still close enough to a bigger city that you don't feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. If you're not in your head right now, then you're definitely in the right place. Because that's the exact balance Maryville really tries to strike. Okay, so here's our game plan. First up, we'll look at what makes Maryville a true alternative to living in Knoxville. Then, we'll jump into what we're calling the 5 big wins. These are the top reasons people are flocking there. But hey, it's got to be a balanced look, right? So we'll cover the trade-offs too. After that, we'll talk money, the financial picture. And at the end, we'll wrap it all up to help you decide, is Maryville your spot? So, first things first, what is Maryville, really? Let's kind of get our bearings and figure out where it sits in the whole East Tennessee landscape. Okay, so Maryville is the county seat of Blount County, and it's nestled right there at the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. What's really key to understand about its identity is this. It's a magnet for people who want a quieter, more community-focused life, but without totally disconnecting from the jobs and culture you get in a city like Knoxville. All right, so what are the biggest reasons people choose Maryville? Let's get into the 5 major advantages, the big wins that consistently put this town at the very top of homebuyers' lists. First and foremost, and this is a huge one for families, is the quality of the local schools. We're talking about the highly rated Maryville City Schools and also the broader Blount County school system. For a lot of buyers, this is a total non-negotiable. And this right here really says it all. It's not just some nice little perk. For so many families, the school system is the #1 reason they pick Maryville over every other option in the area. It's a massive, massive motivator. The second big win, well, it's all about your wallet. We're talking housing affordability. You know, to put it simply, your money just goes further here. When you compare it to bigger metro areas, or even some of the hotter neighborhoods in Knoxville, you're just going to find more home for your buck. It makes buying a house feel way more achievable for a lot of people. And we're not just talking about one kind of house either. There's a really great variety here that fits different styles and budgets. So whether you're dreaming of a historic place near downtown, something in a classic traditional neighborhood, or even a newer build, you've got options. Okay, win number 3 is an absolute game changer if you're an outdoorsy person. Maryville's location is just, well, it's a dream. It all comes down to being ridiculously close to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And let me be clear, this isn't one of those vague, oh, it's near the mountains kind of things. No, we are talking minutes away from the park entrance. That means world-class hiking trails, biking, fishing. That's not just a weekend trip anymore. That can be your after-work routine. The 4th pro is something you can't always put a number on, but man, you can feel it. It's that tight-knit community atmosphere. This is really at the core of Maryville's identity and is a huge selling point for people who actually want to know their neighbors. And you can see it everywhere you look, from the cool little downtown packed with local shops and restaurants to the constant stream of community events, festivals, and parades. There's just this genuine pride in the town that really brings people together. And the 5th and final big win is all about pure practical convenience. Its location is that perfect compromise. You know, you can easily work or hang out in Knoxville, but then you get to come home to a place that's just quieter and more laid back. And to put a number on it, you're generally looking at about a 30-minute drive to get to downtown Knoxville. For a lot of people, that is a totally manageable commute that gives you the best of both worlds. That small town feel with easy access to city jobs and all the fun stuff. Okay, but let's be real, no place is perfect. To get the whole story, we have to flip the coin and look at the other side. Like any town, choosing Maryville means making some trade-offs, and it's really important to know what those are. This little chart here basically sums up the lifestyle choice you're making. The trade-offs are super clear. Knoxville is all about that high energy, the vibrant nightlife, the fast-paced growth, all the big-name stores. Maryville, on the other hand, is about a steadier rhythm, a focus on local shops. Look, neither one is better than the other, but it's a totally different vibe, and you have to know which one you're looking for. And here are a couple more practical things to think about. First, that commute. Yeah, getting to downtown Knoxville is a breeze, but if your job is way out in Oak Ridge or another part of the area, you're definitely going to be spending some more time in the car. And second, if your dream is to live in one of those massive brand new subdivisions with hundreds of homes, you'll find that there are just fewer of those here compared to other suburbs. Okay, let's talk dollars and cents. The bottom line. What's it actually cost to live in Maryville? And what's the deal with the housing market as an investment? So the main takeaway here is that your overall cost of living will probably be lower than the national average. We're talking more affordable utilities, property taxes, that kind of stuff. But here's the kicker. Even though it's more affordable, homes in Maryville tend to hold their value incredibly well. That steady demand, fueled by things like those great schools, makes buying a home here a really solid long-term investment. So we've looked at the good, we've looked at the, well, not so good. Now let's tie it all together and really figure out who is going to be happiest calling Maryville home. You know, Maryville is going to be a fantastic fit if you're a family and schools are at the very top of your list. It's also an amazing spot for retirees or really anyone who wants the Smoky Mountains to be their personal backyard. If you are actively trying to slow down your pace of life and you want to buy a home that's a stable, solid investment, Maryville it shines. Now, on the flip side, you might want to keep looking if your must-have list includes a bustling nightlife scene, the energy you only get from dense urban living, or the excitement of constant new commercial growth. And, like we said, if you've got your heart set on a huge new-build community, your options are just going to be a bit more limited here. So in the end, it all boils down to this one question. What does quality of life actually mean to you? Is it being minutes from hiking trails and having top-tier schools? Or is it about having tons of restaurants, nightlife, and constant new development? Answering that question for yourself, that's how you'll know if Maryville is the perfect place for you to call home.